Peace, guys. It's Gabe Trades coming into you on this fine Tuesday afternoon. I hope everybody's had a great start to the week. Maybe you caught some of these moves out there, and maybe you didn't. At this point in time, it really doesn't matter. It's a clean slate. It's on to the next day. Fresh mindset, fresh capital. On to the next day to see what we can make happen, guys. Let's jump right into the charts. Here, starting with SPY, the S&P 500. Smaller range day to day, more sideways, back down to 620. Love to see it. Very healthy stuff. Very healthy move today. Really, really tough day for day traders because of that kind of choppy sort of sideways action. That's not easy trading action for intraday traders. It's easy to get chopped up, kind of lose your capital there. QQQ, sort of the same stuff here. QQQ with a little bit more straight across horizontally, not as much downward movement on the Qs. But again, healthy consolidation, contraction. All right, let's get these charts zoomed in so you guys can see what we're looking at here. Bitcoin has been the main watch because, oh shit. Zoom in here. Okay. There you guys can see what we're looking at with Bitcoin. Look at how tight the range is. I love those last 5 days. Contraction right there. It's going to set up great opportunity when this thing moves one way or the other. My trading style is based around these types of setups. It's based around contraction, buying into contraction, buying when traders are getting chopped up, right? The strong hands in the market, they're not interested in these little intraday moves, these little chops here and there. The strong hands in the market, you'll see them stepping in when the markets move. They move the markets, percentages. And when I talk about, like yesterday, I talked about what I can visualize in something like Bitcoin is for this to kind of speed up here and ramp up, potentially for a 10 to 20K point move. We're talking 20% in something as large as Bitcoin. Only the big hands can move something like that. Okay? So keep in mind that when we get this contraction, we're looking to see for strength. We want to see this thing start to ramp up and get some strength and break out. Okay? Bitcoin looks really solid going forward. I'm scanning hard on Bitcoin plays, Bitcoin stocks to capitalize on. But as of now, we're staying consistent with with the watches that we've been on the last couple of days, guys. They're working. There's no point in trying to get fancy and reinvent this thing. SMCI is where we've been starting. Large cap, technology sector, software, development. This thing looks so nice. So nice after that break of that June consolidation. Higher high, more consolidation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days within the range. It's good enough for me to dip my toes in this, put some skin in the game on something like SMCI. Risk, 45. Something like this, I could visualize a speed up here I see 55 as a small resistance, but this is the main line in the sand. I could visualize this thing speeding up here to 60. I see a lot of green. I see a lot of white space up above there. Not much in the way of a resistance point. Maybe something here, but that's light. So above yeah, above 54, we're targeting 60 for a move in SMCI. Now, how I'll take profit on this, again, I'll cut this thing if it's below 45. I just will. Just the nature of it. But I'm looking to take profit in stages on the way up. An initial break of this 50. Sorry, guys, I said 46 earlier. 50 is the first resistance point to clear. Break of 50, and I might add contracts into that break because I'm visualizing a move if we can clear that first resistance. So I might add some contracts above 50 and try to really capitalize that 50 to 55 move. The bulk of my position would come off after that. And then we'd let runners go. The bulk of my position would come off after 6-7% move in something like SMCI. It would be a great trade. And I'm visualizing that break of 50 up into the 55 being the bulk of my trade right there. No need to get greedy. There's so many opportunities. You see opportunities like SOUN recently. My goodness, SOUN, I think this thing went at one point 16-17% today. When you couple that in with the buying from yesterday, you're looking at a 10.50 to a 13 move. You're looking at 30% in the stock in 2 days. Great trade. You take your hat off, you take some off the table, and you sit on it, That's a win. We call that a win. And we'll take those every day of the week when we can get them. No need to get greedy with something like SOUN. Great trade, 10.50 to 13. Could it keep going? Yeah, it certainly could. It's got room above to 15. And maybe you keep a couple shares, a couple contracts to ride. But all in all, great trade. We got what we wanted here. And we can move on to the next. Keep our eyes open and stay fresh, SOUN, just a great move. We highlighted this kind of cup and handle action. Or more of a head and shoulders. Here's shoulder 1. Here's the head. Shoulder 2. Volume did exactly what we want to see on a head and shoulders. Selling volume died off at the bottom. We went lower low. Okay, we went lower low, but the volume, notice how the volume did not increase. The perspective, the psychology in the stock kind of switched. Now we've got more buyers than sellers, and it's confirmed as we come up here to the shoulder and volume raises up, and then boom, on our breakout, we get something like the volume of today. The beautiful volume confirmation today to propel us on that gap up, just propel us up to 13. Good trade. If you caught it, congrats. If you didn't, lots to take away from a setup like SOUN. Futu, the Chinese company that I said I wasn't able to trade because the spreads are ridiculous on this name. It's almost like the markets were protecting themselves on the spreads here. Nice move today in Futu. Good volume. I think we were up 6-7%. In something with a 14 billion market cap, that's a pretty significant move in a stock like Futu. It's got space above up to 150. That's the trade I was, looking to capitalize on. But I have a tough time paying $150 for a spread and seeing a red minus 150 as soon as I buy in. For me, that's not something that I'm super comfortable trading, so I just let this one go. But it's definitely a chart that's worth paying attention to. It's worth, if nothing, a teaching lesson. It's worth the teaching lesson here. And I went over it in the past videos, why we like this thing. Now, the way we tested this previous resistance was different than in the past. We tested it and we didn't just die. We didn't just sell off. We tested it and we tested it with some strength, some sideways pullback, some contraction, some consolidation, and then boom. Buyers outweighed the sellers. We're starting to ramp up to that 130 break. Okay, RGTI. It's just slowly, it's just kind of stair-stepping its way out. I'm letting the trade work here. I've still got, some of my riding shares back there from that initial move. Just riding the $10 call here. It's already a winning position for me. So, we'll see if we can't get the last little leg out of this trade. At this point, it doesn't matter to me. I'll cut it if it dips below this previous candle here with that big long wick. If it dips below like 12:30 or something, I'll just cut it. But yeah, I'll let my winner ride on RGTI, see what happens. SLDP, strong move today. Probably the strongest of the names that we've been watching. It just took out that pullback from the last 2 days. And now we're up here. Oh, come on now. Well, for a minute there, we lagged out. All right, we're back in. SLDP, we're up to that 270. Like I said, we're still looking for that handle. Some pullback would be ideal in something like this. I just don't know, guys. With the volume starting to ramp up, with the aggressive buying we've seen in the small caps recently, it wouldn't blow my mind if this just continued. If this just blows off and just makes new high highs. That's why I keep, my position in it here. It's just got that cup formation. And I've seen these before. I know the magnitude that these can come with. I just know the magnitude that these can come with. And I'm never the type to be greedy and look for 100% moves in a stock. But something like SLDP, I'm not as quick to want to jump off the boat here and unload off a candle like today, especially. Strong volume. Took out the last 2 red days with ease. Shorts are in trouble here. Shorts are in trouble. Ideally, now it's clear. We'd love to see pullback. We'd love to see sideways contraction back to $2. And $2 would have a lot of interest underneath. That's the A scenario, but given the state of the market, this thing could ramp up. This thing could ramp up and continue. So I hold my position. I'm asking for some pullback to gain more. But we'll just have to see with SLDP. It looks good. AISP, Airship AI. This thing's working. This trade's, kind of working here. Volume's good. It's a slow grinder for now. Gosh dang, I tell you it doesn't like how zoomed in I am on these charts. But we've got to do that so you guys can see what's going on here. We'll go back to AISP. QS was strong today. Very strong. QS and SLDP kind of go hand in hand. The sector, the short float, the retail trading involvement. QS with a big candle today with pretty good volume to support. Kind of really wishing I would have bought into this thing back in the 650, maybe the 675 range. Really wishing that today, but hey, it's nothing to beat yourself up over. These two, that gap up and that go, were just incredible on the volume bars. So any dip was going to get eaten up like we saw in QS it did. And now higher high. So big move out of QS. Keep your eyes on it going forward. AISP, I like this slow grind. I like the new channel we formed here between, since we broke out of this sideways bull flag, if you will, the grind has been slow and up. The only thing that I don't like about this is those red candles within this grind. It looks to me like the red candles are stronger. They're more overpowering, if you will, than the white candles within the range. For that reason, it keeps me from putting the foot on the gas on something like AISP. Even though this thing it's approaching these recent highs up here of this 650 level, that's noteworthy. The volume is noteworthy. The wicks in these candles, they're not lovely. It's definitely not a pretty shape. Like something like a SMCI, I would call this a pretty shape. You can see the formation in the white candles. You can see the wicks here at the bottom. These candles have full bodies. The trading is very defined within this range. Something like AISP, which we just lost everything, it looks like. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. AISP, the trading is not as defined here. These candles are a little bit more just all over the place. And for that reason, it looks good. It just hasn't been a position that I've been slamming the gas on, is what I'll say. But I can visualize this thing speeding up here to these recent highs of 675. And there's upside above it. So a good risk to reward setup on AISP. The new one to the watch list today is BLNK, Blink Charging Co. Have to do with the electric vehicles, EVs, things like that. Good consolidation here. Under the dollar, clear line in the sands, $1, but pretty good little triangle forming. Up here, we've made consistent higher lows, and we're looking to target the 200-day moving average. So we're looking for a 25-cent move in this, probably risking about 10 cents, risking the green EMA, risking 85 cents, looking to get 25 cents out of it. That's the type of trade I like to look for, 2.5 to 1, potentially 3 to 1. But BLNK, I expect to see some involvement in this in the coming days due to the short float and the sector rotation that we're seeing. This one has to do with QS as well and SLDP. They're all hand in hand, that renewable energy kind of EV stocks and the sector rotation, guys. So that's all I've got for today. Lots to kind of wrap your head around out there. It's so important to come up with your own game plan. If you trade them all, you trade them all. That's a lot of moving parts. I don't like to trade them all. I like to really find the ones that look good to me, which right now is SMCI. SMCI, it's got the, for me, I bought into this candle today, this strength. Looking for, us to expand. This thing's been contracted now since May, since that breakout in mid-May. And all of end of May, all of June, we've had a nice tight consolidation. I'm looking for us to catch some expansion here on SMCI and move to the upside. So guys, that's all I've got for today. I've got another video coming out here in the Discord. It's going to be not a watch list type of video, but it's going to be an educational video as to how you guys can kind of scan for these on your own and what we can look for as far as setups go. I talk a lot about consolidation, and I want to go more in depth with you guys as to what makes us, a good tradable consolidation phase. But other than that, that's all I've got for today. Hope everybody has a great rest of the evening and good trading day tomorrow. But that's it, guys. Let's do it.